Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, when it comes to doing predictions and trying to break down fights, obviously, some predictions are a little bit more difficult to predict than others, right? I mean, obviously, if the fight is a lot more competitive, you have two elite fighters, and neither one of them are used to losing. Sometimes, depending on the styles of the two fighters, it could be a little, you would have to break it down a little bit more to really decipher who's going to win the fight, right? But every once in a while, as far as I'm concerned, you get treated with an easy prediction. And guys, this Broner versus Maidana fight, I feel, is an easy-ass prediction. Now, don't get hypnotized by some of these dumbass fans that leave comments on these YouTube videos, okay? Because those motherfuckers will lead your ass right off of a cliff. As I always say, it is very difficult for dumb fans to separate their personal feelings from common sense. And in this Marcos Maidana Broner situation, it is no different. You know, let's revisit the Broner versus Paulie Malignaggi fight. After that Malignaggi fight, all of the fans who hated the shit out of Adrian Broner, it was kind of like a celebration for them because they were jumping up and down saying, yeah, he was exposed. He's not a perfect fighter. He's not a machine. And this is when the personal feelings really comes in and starts to cloud their brain and common sense. And this is when these same fans start saying stuff like, oh, Marcos Maidana would knock him out. This guy would knock him out. This guy. Everybody would beat Broner now that we've seen this Paulie Malignaggi fight, right? And realistically, a lot of the people who are saying this, not all of them, but deep down, they don't really believe this. But at the time, because the fight is not signed, and it makes them feel better because they hate this guy so much, it makes them feel better just to say it, right? But of course, as soon as the fight gets signed, all of a sudden, these same fans, they singing a whole nother tune. Now they saying, oh, Broner is cherry picking. Broner just fight Maidana because he knows it's an easy fight, etc., etc. Just like they did with the Mayweather-Canelo situation. Before Mayweather signed the contract, everybody was saying Floyd is ducking Canelo. He's afraid. As soon as he signs the contract, all of a sudden, Floyd Mayweather, he cherry picking. He's only fighting Canelo because he knows he can beat him. He only fights people that he knows that he can beat. He's only fighting Canelo because Canelo is inexperienced and etc., right? So anyway, back to the Broner versus Maidana fight. So once again, a lot of people, they watched the Broner versus Malignaggi fight, and they seen that, Broner, he had some difficulties against Malignaggi. So, once again, everyone is saying, oh, man, Maidana will beat him easy, etc., right? But what people are not realizing is Maidana fights nothing like Paulie Malignaggi. The problems that Paulie gave Broner was foot movement, moving around the ring, speed, and forcing Adrian Broner to chase him around the ring. See, Paulie Malignaggi, he didn't do what Broner would have preferred him to do, which is stand right in front of Broner, trying to throw wild-ass punches, trying to constantly knock out Broner, so Broner could use his perfect Philly shell counter-punching ability and shoulder roll and defense, getting off that beautiful uppercut, getting off the hook, that beautiful right hand that he has, and then eventually knocking you out, right? Paulie Malignaggi didn't do that. But guess what? Maidana will. Yeah, Maidana, he gonna come at Broner like a wild-ass caveman, right? He's gonna try to jump all over Adrian Broner, and he's gonna leave himself wide open. The more aggressive Maidana gets, the more he's gonna leave himself open. He's gonna fall right for the mousetrap. But Paulie Malignaggi, he didn't. And that, like I said, that exposed a little bit of a weakness when it comes to Adrian Broner. Like I said, guys, Adrian Broner, his problem is foot movement. Metaphorically speaking, for Broner, his problem is not a guy who's going to walk right to the police station and turn himself in. Broner's problem is the person who doesn't turn himself in and stays out on the run, and you got to go look for him. So I see Adrian Broner knocking out Maidana. I see this being a very impressive performance. I see a lot of people almost forgetting a little bit about the Malignaggi fight. Like I said, Adrian Broner, he has his flaws, but the good thing for Adrian Broner is because we have so many ignorant fans that are dumb enough to always think the tough guy, the guy who's going to come right in and be aggressive and try to knock out Broner, they think that these are the guys that are going to beat Broner. So it plays right into Broner's, game plan. Because he can continue to keep fighting those tough guys when realistically we know, or at least the smart people know, that the people who are really going to give him problems are the people who fight with their brains and they move around and they have a good defense. Someone like a Keith Thurman or a Tim Bradley. These are the type of fighters that will give Broner problems. It doesn't guarantee that they're going to beat Broner, but it guarantees they will give Broner problems in the ring. And one more thing about Marcos Maidana. You guys have to remember, this is a guy who got beat very convincingly against Devin Alexander. And understand something, Devin Alexander is a decent fighter, but he is not a knockout artist. He is not a power puncher. And even furthermore, Devin is not comfortable fighting in the inside. Adrian Broner is. And I remember there was also a couple people who were saying that Adrian Broner, he didn't carry his power to the welterweight division by looking at the Malignaggi performance. I completely disagree with that. Adrian Broner, he looked extremely strong. The problem was he was not consistent with landing his bombs because he was so worried about chasing Malignaggi around and getting caught with a counterpunch. So I see Adrian Broner breaking down Maidana and possibly knocking him out within the first 7 to 8 rounds. And usually in a fight like this, I would at least give the puncher a puncher's chance to win by maybe a lucky shot. But I'm not even giving Maidana that chance in this fight. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Because what I noticed in the Malignaggi fight once again is some of the things that were a negative in that fight, they will work as a positive in this fight. Let me explain what I mean. The reason why Broner didn't look that impressive is because he was so worried about getting caught with something because he was chasing the guy. And he knew that Malignaggi had a little bit of slickness to him. So he played it safe while he was chasing Malignaggi. So even though Broner was fighting a feather-fisted fighter, Broner still made sure he didn't get caught with too many unnecessary punches. Don't get me wrong, he got caught with some punches, but he made sure he didn't get caught with too many of them. So if he's making sure he's not going to get caught against a feather-fisted puncher, you could best believe he's going to make sure he doesn't get caught against a power puncher, right? Of course, don't get me wrong, he's going to get caught every now and then, but he's not going to get caught with anything extremely stupid. So that's my take on this fight, guys. Like I said, Adrian Broner, I believe he stops Marcos Maidana within maybe 7 to 8 rounds. I'm on to the next one, guys.